Today I'm with my new updated Model 2000 LP rifle rest. And there again, every time I go out and shoot, I'm just always trying to think of ways to make the product better. So what I'm going to do, I want to just have the camera zero in. We're going to start from the very front of the rest. I'm going to work my way towards the back. The pads that it sits on, each one of these aluminum pads, are 3 inches in diameter. They have a pressed-in O-ring on the outside. And what that O-ring does is it's fantastic for gripping the surface of wood, for concrete. Also dampens any type of vibration, but just makes for one solid, extremely solid platform. Next up are my elevation dials. I can raise this up because what I use these primarily for is I put a level on behind my sandbag, and I want to level this out because I want my rest to be horizontally perfect every time. Or if I'm out to range, if I actually needed this base to be raised up a lot, I could also raise the whole entire base up before I had to use this. But once I get the position that I need, the little jammers here, I just take that down there, and once I just make slight contact, it's locked in, and it absolutely is not going to move. Now the dual rail gun stop. Okay, you have choices here of using like a rectangular shaped stop, or if I wish to, I can remove this and turn it upside down, because some shooters prefer just to use a single post. So I'll lock that in, I'm ready to go there. Next up are my side sandbag adjustments, and these are really neat here. I can slide these in and out. I can do any gun from say 4 inches wide all the way down to a narrow hunting rifle. And when I make these adjustments, I got these little hash marks here where I can make sure that I lock it in here. I go to the other side, I got the same hash marks, so I lock it in there so they're both the same position. And in the side clamps, I'll show you the side clamps from this angle. My side clamps, they can be tilted down, any position. And the side sandbags can also be moved up and down by loosening these little cap screws, which is very convenient to be able to put my sandbag on any certain spot of the stock that I want. Alrighty. Next up is my windage dial. This here I've made the biggest change to. This is running on linear bearings and a ball screw, which I want to show you what that looks like. This here is a base, this is sitting on top of it. Linear bearings, silky smooth. And when I go to turn my windage dial, the dial right here, this here is a ball screw that's moving. Now ball screws are just ultra precise, and they're used like on CNC machines, lathes. I mean, they're just really fun to use. And in this application, it's just really super cool. Okay, next up, my elevation, my gross elevation wheel. A 6-inch wheel assisted by Timken needle bearings, washer bearings. Makes this very easy. My lock-in elevation rod is at a 45-degree angle. It also makes that very convenient to use. And then when one looks at the base of the rest, you will notice how low profile it is. The lower to the table, the better. Up next, I got a captured 5/32 Allen wrench. If I have to loosen these sandbags and move them on down, I can use that. Or sometimes I go to the range, I like bringing my 5/32 T-handle wrench. Just a little bit easier to use. But in case I forget this, I always got this on board in the base of the rest. Moving on towards the back, my rear sandbag is held in place by 2 socketed cap screws. Very easy and simply can be removed. Because I can position this bag in 4 different positions. I got 1, 2, 3, and the 4th one. And the reason for that is there's so many different stocks out there, short and long. This pretty much covers about everything out there. Now if I need to raise the elevation of the rear bag, I simply use a spacer, which you can buy individually, set screws, and I'm up there where I need to be. Next, moving on back farther, I got my fine-tuned rear height adjustment, which I just would not be without this. This is super neat to use. And what I want to do, I'm going to put a firearm in this rest, and then I'm going to show you how I use this feature back here. I'll be back in a minute.